between the Carolina Panthers and the Baltimore Ravens. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. Taken from about the 12. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down. Well, this defense for the Panthers, they played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and try to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
That was an interesting look there, because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now it's Jackson. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. And he will have the Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The Ravens at 8-1 on the year. They come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well, because you play 2.5 months. You know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start the season, I think they liked where their open week fell.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Throwing is Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Jackson now. And that'll be caught by Tony. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. 4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. Not good at all. Punt of just 24 yards there. And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Hubbard. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. And see, you look at this defense, what kind of pressure are they under trying to stop a team that has won 5 games in a row?
Well, to me, it makes their job harder because you know you're going up against an offense that's playing at an elite level, and sometimes you can get too caught up in trying to play the perfect game. You're trying to be too precise, too fine, instead of just letting it rip. And I think that's more the priority than trying to be absolutely perfect.
On second and a couple, Corral. He'll find his man, Laviska Shenault. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 23 yards to pick up there. That's his first catch of the game, and an impressive one against multiple defenders.
And how about that start? Really aggressive. Yeah, there's double coverage out there, but that didn't stop them at all. They went right at it and defeated it on that play.
On the play fake, Corral. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Patrick Queen. And the Ravens are going to get the football back at their own 17. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it's a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And you feel like this should be a healthy, rested, and focused unit. And they're working on a good winning streak. They had the week off last week. This is really a team, Charles, that should be in top form.
I would agree absolutely with that. What coaches worry about, what organizations worry about, though, is overconfidence. They've been playing so well, and now they've had that extra time off. And we've seen teams come back off the open week and come out flat. So what a lot of good coaches do is they kind of game plan for that with their teams. On defense, they may blitz more in the beginning to get them going. On offense, they may go more up-tempo. Anything to get them out of that lethargy right at the beginning.
The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for third down. Now it's Jackson. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Brian Burns in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Out now is the punter, Jordan Stout. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
Second down, another chance for Hubbard. It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on third down.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down. They'll run a draw now with Hubbard. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up fourth down. Gonzalez out now to try the Panther field goal. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It'll be a 51-yard attempt. And that is no good. Hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Jackson. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Martin, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground and how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. The tackle for loss goes to Matthew Ioannidis. Really nice play.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Jackson. He'll find Dobbins out of the backfield. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up?
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD, and it comes on the 3rd drive, but hopefully for them that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, and I would say if you're the offensive play caller, as you look at your sheet, you're trying to find that part on there that unlocks bigger points. They've struggled with a few drives so far, finally got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And this game, Charles, much talked about coming in. And you think there's a real chance this is a Super Bowl preview?
I do, because as things stand, and I'll give you a little bit of a caveat here, that maybe things will shake out a little bit if someone loses along the way. But here we are right now. These are your 2 current #1 seeds, and I think they're both good enough to make it to the big game.
Corral sets up play action. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And Tommy Tremble, the intended target, and it's 3rd and short.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Third down, Corral. Looking for Marshall, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Armour-Davis.
I believe this is what you would call growing pains here, partner, because this defense obviously took the challenge facing the rookie, and they wanted to help indoctrinate him to the NFL. So now the big question is, can he answer that challenge and rebound with plenty of time remaining in this game?
Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. They'll run with Dobbins. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. Could have been a costly mistake, but as it turns out, they keep possession.
You can't give away these types of opportunities in the red zone. And I'm sure that was flashing through his brain as the ball escaped his hands. Fortunately for him, able to get picked up by his team, fumble recovered, they still have an opportunity deep in the red zone.
Very fortunate to get another shot. Here's 2nd and goal. To throw is Jackson. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Shaq Thompson charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops it for a loss of 11.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Brian Burns. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Tucker's kick is good, and they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1. Corral is intercepted again. That's number 3. Picked up by Patrick Queen. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. So his struggle is just continuing here in the first half throwing the football. Charles, now 3 interceptions.
And they don't feel like they're just great plays by the defense. There's a sense that maybe he's a little careless with the football now. So some of the great coaches in the past, you know, they've always said, I can't teach you, obviously, because you're not listening. So maybe the bench can teach you. He's got to be careful now. He might get pulled.
He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I'm not quite sure what he thought he saw there, but the reality was certainly a much different picture than what he anticipated. And give credit to the defense. They were down on the flash when he broke out of there, and they forced him out with almost nothing to show for his efforts.
Second and 9. Off the play fake to Dobbins. Here's Jackson. And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
On 3rd down, Jackson. That's complete to Tony. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. Tucker's kick is good, and that will make this a 9-point lead. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, but 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Right back to Hubbard, and he'll be brought down right around the 37. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a give. It's Hubbard going left. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Off play action. Here's Corral. He's got the connection to Moore. Corral to Moore there. Good for a Carolina first. He was out there waving his arms, and when you get a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Straight ahead with Hubbard. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Corral on 2nd down. He's got his tight end. It's Tommy Tremble. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. And he spikes it to stop the clock. And now if they choose, they'll have a chance at maybe a long field goal try here just before the break. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one, as it's good from 56 yards out. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Panthers going to get the football first, trailing here as well as we resume play in this second half. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Now they're down on the scoreboard, sort of a sloppy first half. And Coach Davis, if you were in the locker room, what would the message have been?
I think I'd have to go with something you don't ordinarily go with in the NFL. That's a fire and brimstone. You've got to fire these guys up. Make them understand what's going on out there. They were so sloppy in the first half, too many turnovers. Tighten things up. Maybe get in their face a little bit, get in their grill, and then send them back out.
A give running, and it's a fumble.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Play action, Corral. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Back to throw, Corral. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Chuck Clark picking it off. And the Ravens are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
I certainly think that we're seeing a big reason why this team has struggled to put points on the board so far, because too many of their drives have ended in turnovers already, and we still have almost a full half of football yet to play.
Eluding the pressure right. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pickup there at 22. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So the completion good for just 3. 3rd and 7 now.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And the lead stretches to 9. It's now 12-3. Well, whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next touchdown,
Carolina. That will tie the all-time mark. You cannot go further, folks. 109 yards on the kick return. And the Panthers have got it back to within a score. Gonzalez good on the extra point. And the lead is down to 2. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. Taking it about the 1. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. From the 24, Jackson. And that is incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Here's Jackson to throw. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to kick it away. This is fielded at the 27. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more. But this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect them to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum in a hurry.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for good yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. What happened there? Was that just a missed assignment on the O-line?
It certainly felt like it, but also the speed of the play. When you're talking about defensive end, they want to be ahead of the clock, don't they? They want to be upfield, making plays on every snap. How about his agility there to run that one down?
And he'll take this to the 47, but no further, as they get him down well short of the line to gain. Here's Johnny Hekker now, as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down.
And some room to work. There he goes, left side. Past the 20. And all the way down to the 7-yard line.
78 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Now Jackson taps this forward, jet sweep. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
Three red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Second down and goal. Jackson in trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12.
Matt Ioannidis bullying his way in and sticking him to the turf.
This is a little hard for me to compute, because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a 1-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the points. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
So it's another field goal here. He may need to ice his leg after this one. That's now 5 field goals converted in this game alone.
Yeah, get the trainer. They're going to need this guy. And they've needed every single one of the field goals he's made, too. If they're going to get out of here with a win, I say he gets a game ball.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going. Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hubbard. And he's able to get up here to the 26. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Now Corral on 3rd and 2. And this is caught. He hits more. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the 4th quarter. Just rely more on the passing attack.
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try.
And my goodness, another interception. It's Bubba Bolden who picks it. And the Ravens are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
But based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
The throw there finding its way to Boyle. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
From the 44, Jackson. Here's Tony on the quick slant. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Right back to Tony. He's got another one. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Ravens add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best of the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
On second down, here's a run with Hubbard. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
Fourth down, here's Corral. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Now Dobbins again on second down. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it third down at 6.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Hard throw, incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game.
So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They can't do much at this point, partner. This one is going to go down in the loss column.
You don't make up for what has happened during the game in this sequence.
He's got a man complete. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with the clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT as this gets him back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So looking at this situation, you should have time for the onside kick and then at least one play. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Dobbins running out of the gun. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And we talked so much about the turnover battle.